Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I am your host, Johanna Dahlman. Today, I am recording from the library. My internet providers are switching out, and so I'm in between internet providers at home, and so I can't record in my normal place. However, this also goes to show that when things happen in life, we need to take things in stride. We need to take things and just go with the flow. Sometimes surrendering to the situation, to the challenge, to the obstacle is many times what we need to do. And surrendering doesn't mean give up. It means let things move past and move freely through the occurrence, through what's going on. So for example, in this case, there's nothing I can do about not having internet at the house because I have one bad provider and I'm upgrading to a better provider. But at the same time, there is a lapse in time and I can't move the appointments. I can't make them faster or sooner. And I can't force people to come out when they're not scheduled to or when they can't get here, right? And so moving with the flow of what's happening is a good reminder as we move into the holiday season, as we move into when things happen, when things don't go our way, whether it's a missed flight or a delayed flight or package delays or any type of situation where it's inconvenient, right? Because many times as people, we get upset when there's an inconvenience to us, whether we're waiting too long or whether things didn't come out as well. And sometimes all of it is petty for the most part, right? The internet not working is petty, not getting the parking spot, not doing this, not doing that. All of it in the grand scheme of things is petty. But when it comes to our health, this is different. And so when we can release the stress of the everyday petty things, then it allows more energy for us to focus on ourselves, on our health, and our well-being. And this is key to our success in every asset and aspect of life, but then also for a better enriched, empowered, and happy life is really focusing on the bigger prize, the bigger situation and obstacle, which at this moment it's hair loss, correct? And so letting go of all the smaller things in order to really focus, hone in, and heal the bigger situation, which is alopecia. So that's something I wanted to mention. I also wanted to mention before we get into Gabby's interview of how she had diffuse ankylosing effluvium and how she saw tons of clumps before starting the program. And then she went into stop all the clumps, all the hair loss stopped, and then she went into hair growth. Before we go into her interview, I wanted to also share that this is about 10 days out from the raffle that we're having for the gift cards. So if you haven't already, go ahead and submit your review on Apple Podcasts for the Alopecia Angel podcast, and then email them the screenshot to hello@alopecia.𝐭. And then we will raffle off names for gift cards ranging from $75 to $500. And I'm really excited to do this because I know everyone can use extra money for holiday shopping and decor and whatnot. So I look forward to doing that. And the other news I wanted to give you is that about a week ago, I was presenting at a conference here locally, and I was really excited to have so many people show up. It was over 60 people, and I have another one coming up in February, and then I have a really big health and wellness conference coming up in May. That will be in Dallas, Texas. So I'm really excited to share those details with you. And for the new year, I also have more surprises and more interesting situations coming up that I'd love to share. So feel free, stay tuned, and continue to follow Alopecia Angel because we're here to help and serve you. And as I'm speaking, I've had such great pleasure and heartwarming experiences this week with so many wins and successes from clients of all ages, emailing me about their hair growth, emailing me about how their healing is rapid, emailing me on how they're on the right path, emailing me on how grateful they are, emailing me on just showing me before and after pictures. And this is a time of gratitude, at least for the US. It's a Thanksgiving month. I like to not leave it for a day, but leave it for a month or even a year or anytime all year round. And it is a time of being grateful and thankful. And just like my clients are grateful for where they're at and the trajectory and their hair growth and their healing, I'm also grateful for all of them. And so I wanted to give a shout out to everyone who's done the Hair and Heal program, everyone everyone who has followed me, everyone who listens to me, and who believes they can heal, because it truly is the power within that enables us to heal and to also move forward. And when you do that, when you put yourself as a priority and you say, stop, I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want to be in hair loss. I don't want to be bald. I don't want to have alopecia areata go and come 1,000 times throughout my life. I just want this to end and be done. Know that you can and you can heal. So I'm very grateful for all my supporters, because we've grown over the years and we will continue to grow. So I look forward to spreading the word and to having more outlets in spreading the word, but that'll come with more news in the future. Talk to you soon. Take care.
One of the biggest lessons that I've learned is to really invest because you know that you're coming from a space where if you put in the money, you're going to get the money back, right? If you put it in, you're going to get it in. So I was like, how much money have I spent on Minox bottles? I had been on Minox since, I want to say 2009. That's a long time.
A lot of money.
It was a lot of money, and then I think of the impacts on my liver, like what that's had. And obviously can't go back, but yeah, a lot of money, like the amount of money I did, what's that stuff? The PRP thing. I've done all of that stuff. It's all like the only thing that did work in inverted commas was minoxidil, but at what price, right? And anyway, when I got to New Zealand, then they were like, sorry, you can't get a script. And I feel like those were my guides or my spirit angels or whoever it was saying like, it's time you've got to turn a corner now. This is not your path to follow. And it was probably the best thing that ever happened, because I was like, you know what, I cannot accept, and I've never been the person just to accept things like this is my health, this is my life. And yeah, and having somebody who's walked the path, who's done it, got options, it is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Just do it. That's how I feel. And it's, just to really have that guidance and that support. It was a big thing and it was a helpful thing, because I think that a lot of people walk around with this shame and this feeling of loneliness, because you think that it's just happening to you and you don't talk about it because there's a stigma attached and you just feel really sad and whatnot. So just having that support from someone to say, you know what, yes, it is those things and I've been there, but there is another side to it, and it doesn't have to be this way, that was a big thing. But you have to go looking, you've got to really go deep and find this stuff, because it's not going to be at the top of Google saying miraculous hair loss treatment and that. Like, on this journey, you've really got to go dig deep. So that's definitely one of the things, one of the good things that's come out. I'm sure it was Instagram. It's a very good thing that came out of Instagram finding you.
That's great. That's great. What would you say to somebody who's on the fence about joining the program?
Honestly, I would say, how much money have you spent on all the other things? And if you've spent thousands and thousands, then what's a little bit more? What have you got to lose? Like, really, what have you got to lose? But if this is someone who's really, this is a big investment or it's a lot of money or whatever the case is, like your health, you can't put a price on your health, but just how you feel, your own dignity, your own sense of self, I think that feeling of being able to walk outside the house and not feel embarrassed or not feel like you constantly doing your hair all the time, or that feeling in itself, that's a no-brainer. I love how it's called Hair and Heal, but it's really a holistic way of living. And I think that for all of us, really, because we don't just focus, it's not just about what you eat. And I love that you say that throughout the program, that it's everything, it's your lifestyle, it's all of the things combined. Like, it's eye-opening, because there is so much that we just blindly accept because it's easy and that's just what we choose, that's just what we do, which is fine, until you learn more and you do better and you shift from this place of being completely disempowered to a place of feeling really empowered and really strong and really confident about your health and your future. Honestly, for those reasons, my biggest thing is like, what have you got to lose? Really? Aside from hair, what do you have to lose? Just do it, truly.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. How soon did you see hair growth in the program? Do you remember which week it was or how far into it?
It wasn't that I actually saw the growth. I noticed it stopped falling out, which was interesting. So I'd say after about a month, because it used to fall out like it was serious clump and it was a significant change.
There's certain things that the return on investment for eating it is just so much bigger, because it's not just now, but it's for the rest of your life.
That's like another thing that I think I actually learned throughout this process, was that I'd gone vegan, I'd been vegetarian, I've always just ethically, and I think it was like we spoke about, just like that ethical side of being like a yogi and that. that. It just never sat well with me to eat animals and that.
This is where fertility issues come in, or anything else with women's health in general. As you keep going or go into that next phase of menopause or whatever it is, the diet affects everything. It affects your hormones, the hair loss, your thyroid, the osteoporosis, anything else that might come up or could come up or will come up in the future for us. We're doomed if we're not taking care and we don't know how to support the body now. That's really it is. We're doomed.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that's another thing. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but like I was diagnosed, I think also 2012. So not too soon after I started with minoxidil and that, but I think a lot of it had to do with me going on the pill, and that's when I really noticed my hair like thinning significantly. So it must have been a hormonal. And then when I was trying to fall pregnant, I was diagnosed with a prolactinoma, which is a benign tumor on your pituitary gland, which minuscule, really small, but what it does is it increases creating prolactin. So you lactate, even though I'd never had a baby before, it was the craziest thing in the world. But again, it was like, there's nothing that you can do. There's nothing that you can do, and sorry, and it sucks to be you. And first time around trying to fall pregnant, I was like, just give me pills and give me all the things and I'll take it. And second time around, it was quite amazing. They were like, you'll never get a period naturally, it will never happen for you. And then the second time around, when I fell, what actually happened was I'd stopped breastfeeding my son because I was trying to regulate my hormones. That was when I first found 𝐸𝐸𝐻, I found ashwagandha, I found all of those herbs. I started taking sleep seriously, and I did something called lunaception. I don't know if you've heard about it, where you actually black out your room completely, like not even a light from the TV or anything like that. And then when it was full moon, there are only very few people I can speak to like this, by the way. Many other people look at me like I'm a crazy person, but then when it was the full moon, you open up the window and you let the light in. And anyway, what happened was that it actually naturally brought on my cycle. And between the herbs and the just doing lunaception and whatnot and sleeping properly, at that stage, my diet, I think, wasn't amazing, but that brought about my cycles.
Thank you so much. All the best. Keep me posted on your future progress.
Yes, I will. All right, Jenna, good luck with your move.
Good night. Sweet dreams.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.